Hello, gamers, and welcome to the PCC. My name is Ardog with the Triple G, and I'm so honored to be your host at the Prime Championship Circuit. We are a community-based tournament where we host and show you the greatest Predecessor has to offer in competitive gaming. We started off with 26 teams and 18 have been eliminated, and now only 8 remain. 2 weeks ago, we finished our Swiss and our group stages, and this weekend is our main event, and we hear you loud and clear. You want more. Today is our quarterfinals between the top 8 teams, and tomorrow we will hold the semifinals and ultimately the grand finals. PCC is a celebration of community, a testament to the spirit of competition that unites us in the world of Predecessor. The stage is so much bigger, the stakes are so much higher, but the road to victory is not yet over. As we harness the storm in the land of Pred, so many teams have come to conquer the crown, but it comes down to this top 8. The Professors, PTAB, Dirty Lake and the Boys, Flow State, the Chefs, What If, Indecisive, and the Hive. But who will go down in history and who will join the elite to call themselves champions of the PCC? But before we get into these games, I gotta introduce these boys next to me, the cream of the crop desk analyst. I'll start with you, Grady, streamer, content creator, and all-around Predecessor gamer. How's it going, Grady?
I'm doing well. Thanks for the introduction, R-Dog. I'm happy to be here today.
And of course, we can't forget Wangle, the Wangler, the one with the killer smile, the one who is split and torn between worlds apart. How are you, Wangle?
You flatter me, our dog. I'm doing great. I'm super excited for what we have in store today.
Yeah, today is going to be super nutty. I can't believe we've reached the stage now. This is the quarterfinals. One more day and we're at the grand finals. So the quarterfinals consist of 4 best of 3 series. Sorry, 4 best of 4, and the 4 winning teams from today will best of 3 series, but there's 4 games. But the 4 will advance tomorrow, and they battle it out in the semifinals for a spot to contend in the grand final best of 5. Exclamation point bracket to keep track of the score and the current standings. If you want to know whose player is in which team, what's the roster looking like, what's the score, there it is. But you're looking at the board here. You're looking at these 8 teams that made it out of Swiss and made it out of groups. You've got the Professors, PTAB, D-Lab, Flow State, Chefs, What If, Indecisive, and the Hive. Please make sure you're cheering for your favorite team as well as your favorite players. So we are going to be watching that first best of 3 series, which will be the Professors versus PTAB. Okay. We're gonna start with the Professors first though. Wangle, what can you tell us about them?
So, obviously a team with a ton of history, been around since pretty early in the comp scene, and is stuck with a pretty similar roster, changing, a couple things here and there. But Survivor Crazy Fool, the duo that's been terrorizing other duo lanes since they've been competing. Soul Reaper, everyone's favorite streamer, the biggest streamer of Predecessor, the mid lane guy. Six, also huge streamer, playing in the jungle. And Nitro, the GOAT, in my opinion. Not the GOAT, but very, very good offlaner. And they obviously won 2 PCCs ago, PCC 5. Very well-known team. One of the favorites to win the whole thing, I think.
Yeah, but on the other side, we've got PTAB. Grady, walk me through about what you know about PTAB.
So PressTab, another name that's been around the predecessor scene for a while. They did win the very first community predecessor tournament, the Loblolly tournament. Um, they have Rizbro over in the off lane. He's a crunch enjoyer just like myself. Bad News Bears in the jungle. As you can see, Xeris pretty high prio there on the list. A lot of the times it goes to Bad News Bears. Feppy, former support player. He was a part of the roster that did win the very first PCC as the support for Team TOS. So as a support main, he's definitely pretty proficient with the Bellica. We got Azazel over in support playing with Epps in the duo lane as the AD carry. Those two both really like to rock the Kira and the Narbash. So we'll see what they're able to bring out today. A little bit of an underdog team, but they definitely have a shot if they hold it together as a team.
They definitely do. And look at the sweet graphics that our team has created for us. Wango, walk me through with what you're seeing here.
So obviously, you know, in the KDA department, Professor's sitting well above PTAB, 6.0 around KDA to 3.0, double the average KDA in their matches, which means that there's a lot more fighting. Professors are probably winning a lot more of the fights. I'm sorry if you can hear that. My fire alarm might be going off. Wow. But yeah, and then gold per minute, obviously a bit higher, decently higher for every minute, 200 more. Yeah, I might need to be right back, actually. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. I mean, we're looking at the most banned here. We've got the phase. We know that the professors don't want to anytime they see a player from another team that plays that hero, that's definitely something that they want to ban out. Grady, what else are you seeing for the band here and the picks from both sides?
So PTAB really likes to ban out the Bellica. It's really a strong flex pick and a very good early pick to take for any draft. She can fit into basically any team comp. So very, it's a pretty good safe ban. And then of course we see that the most picked for Professors is the Richter. We know Nitro and Six can both play the Richter, but we all know who's really getting the Richter at the end of the day. That's going to be the man, the myth, the legend, Crazy Fool, hitting those hooks and carrying Survivor, babysitting him through the lane. And then we also see most picked, very strong pick right now is Xeris for PTAB, a very strong offlane and jungle pick, very flexible in both roles.
Yeah, I definitely want to say that Ultimate by Xeris is one of the top 10 ultimates in the game. It's so annoying how he can just engage and initiate team fights by just zeroing in on you and wrapping his Colosseum around and amidst everything and just creating that fight. Even though you feel like you're out of range, all of a sudden he just leaps and jumps on you. But while we have you here with us and you're looking at this nice graphics here, we got the logos from both teams. And you've got these nice statistics that was generated from our Swiss and group stages. If you like what you're seeing from us, please drop us a follow, hit the subscribe button. We're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and of course here on Twitch. So whatever social media out there, we're there, okay? Thanks for all of your support. And speaking of support, ! Support will send you to our GoFundMe as well. So we're still raising funds for a prize pool and the PCC production as a whole. We've already reached the $1,000 mark, okay? We're over that, but we have still yet to unlock the $3,000 and $5,000 marks. A Cutting to the Core 12-hour episode, and a special event with proceeds going to a charity of the top donors choosing. So thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We see you guys in chat and all the support and all the love. These players they put in so much time and effort into these games. The amount of scrims they're doing to be able to play at this top level, I think Grady can speak for it as well, because he is a player, all-around gamer himself. So there's a lot of dedication out there towards competitive Predecessor Gaming. Okay, but going back to the Professors versus Press Tab, this is going to be a best of 3. So the profs or either team will just need to win 2 games and then they can make it to our semifinals tomorrow. So tomorrow we will have our semis between the 4 teams, and that's how we will find out. They will be a best of 3 as well. And then we'll be able to watch the grand finals, which is a best of 5. We're still waiting on Wangler here. Let me just make sure. Okay, looking to see if there's any notes, but we are just going to just make sure that you are typing ! bracket if you want to keep track of the score, the current stat. We know that the Professors and Press Tab is going to be our first best of 3 series, but the next one will be Dirty Lake and the Boys versus Flow State. Choice, can you please pull up the bracket once more for us? Okay, so here's our quarterfinals, best of 3, the Professors versus PTAB. We kind of know, and Grady kind of mentioned this earlier with Press Tab, that the Press Tab won the first ever Predecessor tournament, and Wango kind of highlighted how nutty and how good the Professors are as a team. But in your experience, Grady, how is it like playing against the Professors? I'm just gonna throw this question out there.
The Professors are, I mean, what can I say other than the Professors? They have a pretty unique play style, very aggressive team. They like to look for early groups or early groupings and try to catch you off guard, try to catch people on rotations. So once you get the hang of that, you kind of get an idea of what to expect from them, but they will still definitely hit you something out of left field that you're not expecting if you're not paying attention to the map and you're not warding correctly. So very tough team to face overall. Very, very strong synergy team. If you really let them do what they want to do, they will take the game and they're going to snowball out of control.
Yeah, and
Hello, I'm
we
back.
were talking about welcome back, Wango. We were just talking about a little bit more about the bracket, but we have some statistics for you guys, because we talked about how Crazy Fool was a really good Richter. Let's pull up those Richter numbers, okay? Wango, talk to me about these Richter numbers.
Yeah, I mean, these numbers are pretty nice for PCC history. Obviously, a 55% win rate means more than likely it's going to win, but it mostly depends on the hands that it's in, and Crazy Fool is the hands that you want it in. He's known for being able to play the lane specifically really well with the Richter, having the lane close to his tower, where the jungle is able to gank, hitting the hooks when he needs to, setting up free kills, free picks in the duo lane, allowing them to snowball their lead, allowing them to start running over the game, start stacking Fang Toots, get a lot of pressure on the map. And that's what this pick is really good for.
Definitely one of those priority picks or bans looking at or overall in the PCC tournament. But now it's time for a little bit of a prediction for the series. Okay, I gotta start with Grady because he's on the left. So that means he's gotta go first. Who is gonna win this best of 3 series, Grady? Is it going to be the Professors or Press Tab?
Well, I mean, it's first seed versus 8th seed, a tale as old as time. PTAB, I hope they put up a good fight, but I really have to give it to Professors. They're just too strong coming in at the number 1 seed.
All right, and Wango, are you a believer of the Professors as well, or are you a fan of Press Tab?
You know, PTAB, they've been around a long time, they've been improving, and I think when they press tab on the scoreboard at the end of the game, it's going to show that Professors have won the game. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go with the common opinion.
Okay, so both of the desk analysts are locking in the Professors. And for myself, I think I'm always a fan of the underdog. Who knows, right? Maybe there's a chance that the Press Tab will win their next Pred tournament, even though they won the first ever Pred tournament. So now maybe they'll be able to win this Predecessor tournament as well. So I am going to pick press tab. You never know, maybe there's some miracle they're able to pull out. They've been putting in a lot of practice. This is definitely a hurdle for them to defeat the professors, but you never story that we're going for here, okay? But that means that we've locked our predictions. It's time to get into this draft. All right, Grady, we talked about the priority picks being the Richter. What else are you expecting from professors?
I definitely am expecting professors to hopefully not get Richter. Press tab are the first pick, first ban, so I would like to see Press tab just ban away the Richter. I mean, you know that if you give it to Crazy Fool and he's got the hot hands today, he's gonna make the game really hard for you. I do expect the phase ban coming out of the professors, and I do know that Press tab really like to highly prioritize Bellica based off of their scrims that I was looking at previously. So we'll have to see what comes in as the very first ban for Press tab.
Are you expecting the same thing, Wango? Is it going to be a phase ban as well?
It's definitely going to be a phase ban on the side of professors, but we are seeing the Kolari ban, another one of the professor's staple picks, 6, known as one of the few guys in comp that will pick the Kolari jungle. So professors weighing up Richter versus Kalari, which one do we think is scarier? Apparently they think the Kalari can just cause so much pressure on the map, make them super uneasy in being able to pull objectives or even just lane normally. So they want to get rid of that, make it more of a normal game. They do have the first pick as well, so if they want to, they can take the Richter on first pick away from professors. I don't know if they're going to do that. From what I've seen of Press Tab, I would expect something like a Zarus or a Rampage pick on the first, but we have to wait and see.
I will say, being that this is tourney day, big game day, I would like to see Press tab stick to their game plan, stick to their normal drafts. From what I've seen, they don't really play a lot of Richter. I don't see it on their support. I don't see it on their jungler. I don't see it on their offlaner. I know offlane is a little bit off meta, but some teams still try to play it over there. We see the phase ban just as predicted over on the side of professors. I'm assuming that we're probably going to see a Bellica pick. I would like to see a Bellica pick because that is what Press tab is comfortable with. I would not like to see the Richter pick, just because, like I said, it is going a little bit outside of their game plan. It is tourney day, as I've said before, so please just play what you play what you're comfortable with. We want to see you have a very strong showing, so stick to the plan and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm expecting, as you said, probably like a Bellica, maybe Zarus or Rampage. If they don't pick the Zarus here, I would expect professors to pick it up. 6 is also well known to play Zarus jungle, and it is a high prio pick for Press Tab. 6 isn't really known as a Rampage player. There's the Zarus pick for Press Tab, something that they think is very strong in the meta, and a lot of teams think is very strong. I would expect it to go jungle, but it can be flexed to both jungle or offlane. We'll have to wait and see. Now for professors, show me the Richter, show me Richter Gideon maybe. I know Soul Reaper very much thinks that the Gideon is very strong right now. It gives a lot of prio, very aggressive pick, allows him to do a lot more things that he wouldn't be able to do with other mages due to the teleport, giving that added level of safety. So something like that. We could also see maybe an ADC pick like the Drongo, so just locking in Drongo Richter, which is a very strong duo lane. There's a couple options that professors could go down.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are up right now. Still Bellica, still Argus, right? So we're gonna have to wait and see what we get. Richter Drongo would be two very strong picks. Drongo Survivor, very comfortable on the Drongo. And we do see what Wangle said, the Richter and the Gideon. We know where this Richter's going. It's going into the hands of Crazy Fool. Gideon to Soul Reaper in the mid lane. Staple pick for most mid laners, but definitely one of Soul Reaper's strongest picks. There are still a lot of things on the table for Press Tab, right? We said Argus, we said Bellica, we have even Decker, Rampage. So lots of picks that we could take. I don't know what their game plan here is, though. I don't know if they're looking to deny picks from the professors, which is probably not ideal. The professors do have pretty deep pools in each of the roles. So once again, looking towards comfort, playing what you're comfortable with, playing what you practice. So I would like to see probably a Bellica going to Feppy in the mid lane, character that he has been playing a lot in scrims recently. We could also lock in the Narbash. Azazel, the support, has been practicing a lot of Narbash. I know it's not something that you would typically see in the top three, but strong picks overall. Or we could just look for more flex potential, just like the Xeris. And it looks like we do have Rampage and Argus. So we see where the Xeris is going to Risbro in the offlane. We have Rampage going to Bears in the jungle. Argus, we don't know where that's going. We don't know if it's going to be a mid pick or a support pick. So flex potential there. So definitely looking forward to see what the Professor's locking for their third pick.
Yeah, I would expect to see probably the Drongo here, just confirming the duo lane. The jungle has quite a lot of options to play here. Six, the Kalari's banned, but very well known for his crunch, especially towards the beginning of the game. He was just the crunch guy in the community, but he's been seen playing Kai, even some tank junglers recently, not as often, but we could see picks like that coming out. But I would expect to see an ADC pick here, and then maybe even an ADC ban coming out as well. On the side of Press Tab, okay, there's the Kai pickup, and Wraith banned out, and Grux banned out on the side of Press Tab. So quite a lot of picks right here, Grady. What are you thinking of these?
I'm definitely. It's interesting to see the Wraith ban. I was not aware that that was in the PTAB pool, but it seems like that's a character that professors just don't want to deal with. And then Grux being banned on the side of PTAB, they're denying that from Nitro, so something that Risbro does not want to deal with. Grux is definitely a menace over on the offlane side, and alongside a Chimera, that's just the Bang Bros. You get them together, they're going to dominate that side of the map, right? So I'm definitely looking to see professors just lock in the Drongo. It's tourney day, survivors, sorry, your Drongo OTP. I know the professor's comms right now, they're saying, yeah, buddy, you're on Drongo duty, get over it. So probably going to be a Drongo pick unless he's feeling a little bit spicy. I could also potentially see TB or Murdoch being locked in here. And there's the Drongo right there. Saving offlane for the last pick, very smart if you are on, if you are second pick, or second to ban, second to draft. Press Tab coming up with their next two picks. Wengel, what do you think we're going to see Press Tab round out their comp with?
I would like to see a Twin Blast. You want the Wave Prio into the Drongo Richter, something that can farm from distance, something that has good wave clear. The Argus, I might expect it to go mid, but they could pick up a Bellica here as well. I would expect... I know Press Tab very much values the Narbash, however, Narbash into a Richter lane is one of the worst options, just because he's such a big hitbox, super easy for Crazy Fool to hit the hooks, not that he needs any more help, so maybe not the Narbash, even though it goes well with the comp. I'd like to see the Argus go support here and then just try to play waves here, and then probably lock a Bellica mid. Lets them have a very good pick comp. And there's the Howitzer actually in the mid lane, wanting to play from range, it seems. Play poke on the Gideon, play poke on the Drongo, try not to get all in. Very good pick into the Kai, however, again, very big hitbox for the Richter to hit. It's not a Narbash, but it is very easy, can get pulled out of the sky, so he has to be able to play away from the Richter in order to be able to cast his abilities.
Just like you said, very big hitbox on that Howie. Very bold to lock that in looking in that comp. I see Gideon, I see Richter, and if I'm playing mid lane, I'm probably not asking my team to pick me up the Howitzer, to be completely honest. Maybe I'm taking the Argus here. Maybe I would rather have Gadget. I know Gadget's probably not one of the best picks, but into a very heavy dive comp, I don't know if I really like the Howitzer. Sure, Howitzer can deal with the dive, but Crazy Fool gets one of those hooks on you and you're cooked. I do like to see the TB. I know you mentioned the TB. Very strong pick over for the duo lane. So we're going to see a Twin Blast Argus duo lane. Very, very strong. Seraph in typical Nitro fashion being locked in as the final pick for the professors. That's definitely a scary character to see Nitro on. If you've seen Nitro play previously, he's very, very good at the Seraph. Not a very common offlane pick, but he knows how to make it work. So now that we see both of the comps rounded out, We see Xeris, Rampage, Argus, Twin Blast, Howitzer for Press Tab. That is a very scary comp. If they get together, they have a lot of control, lots of range damage, lots of poke. If they get onto you, you're probably going to get deleted very quickly. And then on the side of Professors, what do you think about that comp, Wangle?
Very dive heavy, very run you down, rush down. The Richter wants to walk at you. He wants to hit a hook. If he doesn't hit a hook, the Kai's going to jump at you. The Serret's going to flank onto your backline. The Twin Blast, Argus, Howie, they're just going to get ran down by it if they're allowed to, or if the Serret is allowed to snowball of control. The Drongo, very safe pick to counter the dive of the Xaris Rampage, but it very much is a press W. We all go forward, we try and kill something kind of comp on the Professor side.
Now we'll have to see if they will be pressing W here, because we're going to be watching game number 1, Press Tab versus the Professors. Please join me in welcoming Lance and Tedium.
Thank you so much, Ardog. My name is Lance Hashishal. I'm here with Weedium. Happy holidays to all of you that participate. Team, we got to talk about these drafts. What did you see out of Press Tab and the Professors that gets you excited for this first quarterfinals of PCC 7?
Well, what I saw from Press Tab was pretty much picking a lot of the top picks. They got Xaris, who I think is the best offlaner right now. They have Rampage, who I think is one of the best junglers right now. They took the Howitzer, who I know I kind of agree with Grady. It doesn't necessarily work perfectly with their team comp, but a lot of people have been saying this Howitzer, we're going to see a lot more of him. I think this Howitzer, another new top pick in mid. They've got an Argus who, while he's been nerfed, is very good, and I actually really like Argus support into the Richter, but maybe that's just because of, pubs. He's small, so the bad players can't hit me. But then on the side of the Professors, it's not top picks. They do have a Richter who is a top pick, but on the side of Professors, it's iconic picks. Richter, crazy fool. They've got Soul Reaper on the Gideon that Wangle mentioned he really likes. Of course, no jungler doesn't have an iconic Kai, and Six is, of course, got one. And then, of course, the most iconic, probably, or most unique, I should say, is this Sereth offlane coming out of Nitro. He's the guy who invented this pick. It's kind of a battle of what's good versus what's good in your own hands.
I think so too. And Nitro kind of the pioneer for this Sereth offlane. We've heard a lot of rumblings about it. I don't actually think he's ever played it in a game that we broadcast for PCC, but a bunch of different people in the offlane were picking this up and trying to utilize the strength of it as well. Nitro kind of the master of it so far. We'll have to see what he's able to do, but there is a lot of counterplay in here. Has the ability to go up with that secondary ability, jump out of the Coliseum if Rizbro is to ult him. A little bit of good early trading as well, can dodge the stun from the Xaris with your own primary ability, go into the multiple strike things, kind of become untargetable for a little bit. So a lot of outplay potential on both sides of these heroes here in the offlane. But I want to talk about something that Grady had said during the draft. This mid lane pick with the Howitzer. So many people don't think that Howitzer is playable into Richter because his hitbox is the size of a freezer. And if anybody can hit an easy hook on Richter, it is Crazy Foot Leader. It's kind of his patented hero. What do you think about this Howitzer pick in the mid lane for Feppy?
Look, I agree that he's probably going to be easier to hit than, say, this Argus here. But I do think... Actually, hold that thought. It looks like Kai is looking for a gank.
Ooh, here comes Sick. He's going to come in with the ambush. A lot of damage down onto Epps, but Epps still does have the flash, and he's going to have to expend it. So expect Six to come back within the next 5 minutes as Epps is vulnerable already.
Yeah, luckily he's got this Argus who is able to displace him and save his life, potentially if another gank does come out. That crystal can be used as a sort of giving your ADC a little bit of an escape. And with, Twin Blast able to dash when he's in the air, he can give himself a pretty long dash. So he might still be safe from a gank, but he's still looking to be a target. But as you were saying, this Howitzer pick in mid lane, what I really like about it is it goes with the rest of the composition in this long range engage. They can land rocks from afar. They can land, Wind Blast grenades. They can land Argus stuns from afar, and then of course he can rock his own rocket from afar. So it's just a lot of this long-range damage, CC, poke. That fits the comp really well, in my opinion.
I think that is the truth, and I think it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. I know that Feppy really likes this hero in that howitzer. There's a lot of different things he can play. I also want to shout Feppy out for switching roles. Originally won the very first PCC ever with TOS, as you can see in his name there, as although he is with PTAB, still rocking the TOS takeover name tag here. But he was actually their support. He supported Lakeinator during that event, had a really good showing, has transitioned to the mid lane, pretty strong player all around, has a big history in other games as well. So Feppy, just a gamer at heart, really proficient, but we got to look out. Here comes 6, already getting active. Second gank of the game, already at 4 minutes. Rizbro is going to be able to just backpedal a little bit, but this is about securing the Scion buff. Denying it from Rizbro, getting an XP advantage for your team.
What we saw there was both junglers just kind of standing there watching each other in the off lane. 6 eventually was just like, okay, I'm tired of this. Like, Bears was just staring at him that whole time. So Rizbro knew he was there. Eventually, I think 6 was like, okay, whatever. I'm done with this. It's time to go get that green buff. So he walks in a lane. Rizbro has to go back a little bit. There's not really any kill potential, but just a funny interaction we saw there.
And it feels like both of these teams, or I guess more so Press Tab, is looking to kind of take this slow early. 6 has been very active, but we haven't really seen Bears get into any of these lanes yet. No boulder throws, no engages for the ganks. So very even in CS, but 6 seems to be the one who is more active. We'll have to see if that's going to put him behind in XP and farm compared to Bears here, who seems to be taking that route on this rampage so far.
Yeah, but look at this. He is potentially looking to get a gank here on the left, maybe even up some flashes. But Soul Reaper ganking the off lane. He does this all the time, and Rizbro might be in trouble, but luckily he's under his tier 1 tower, and Soul Reaper is looking to get back. But on the other side of the map, Bears ganking into duo lane.
Ganking into duo lane. Crazyful gonna have to flash away as his health bar down to about 1/3 of what it is in totality. But able to use that flash. Now he is the one that's vulnerable for about 5 minutes, as Epps has got about 2 minutes before his comes up too. So probably likely to see even more action over in this duo lane as members of both teams down resources, down an ability to escape. You'll have to keep your eyes peeled over here.
We will have to keep our eyes peeled on every lane, it seems, because Soul Reaper, is he going for another gank onto Rizbro? It looks like it.
He is right over here on the side. And we were talking about this as we were leading up into this team. And we were doing a little bit of review of these teams. I'm very familiar with Professors, decently familiar with Press Tab. And the one thing that both of us mentioned to each other right away is how often Soul Reaper comes over and goes to the offlane. In the group session, you and I cast a game with Professors playing against the Chefs, and it felt like Soul Reaper was laning against Sneaks with as often as he was in that off lane, and it seems like Soul Reaper's really sticking to that bread and butter, as it worked very well for them against the Chefs, and they're going to try to execute that again against Press Tab here.
I think it's really important to do that into especially a character like Zarus, who can snowball super easily. You know, Zarus has really strong level 1 through 3, and if he can keep snowballing, it can be pretty dangerous, especially when he starts getting stacks around level 6 with his ultimate. And the other important thing is getting pressure on that side of the map, which there looks like they're trying to do again. The Kai is in the area, but wait, Epps seems to have lane swapped.
I do find this a little bit interesting. Nitro is going to take the first stun ball, but they're going to turn around and immediately engage back into them, which is going to cause Azazel to utilize the flash here, but Bears in with a little bit of a retaliation, but he does miss the rock from the Behemoth, which means that 6 should be able to just kind of freely walk away. Blast Cone isn't going to be able to pick Bears up, but he is going to pounce forward into them, flash forward aggressively as well, and just like that, put him on the board! Press Tab is going to get the first blood, our 8 seed, against our 1 seed in the first quarterfinals of PCC 7.
And it's all because of that lane swap. I guess it's working out, and it's not working out for Crazyful as he misses the hook on Rizbro, which could have spelt disaster. And because of that lane swap, because of that kill, look who is all over that mini prime. It's, of course, Bad News Bears who picks it up. And PTAB looking to change things up here in our game and looking to get a head start.
And a head start. They have accomplished Eps, the person that you would want it on your AD carry, gets that first blood, little bit of extra bonus gold, maybe enough to be able to make them feel more comfortable taking some of these team fights, as it seems like up until that point they had kind of been avoiding them. I do think that they have scaling on their side in this game. You also see Feppy, who is going the Occult Crest, which means he's going to get the Obelisk, do more damage to that Gideon late game, as he doesn't need the Epoch into him, as he can just either make it rain or boop himself out of the black hole. So good pickup there by Feppy to try to make sure that as this game goes on, he's going to be dealing more damage than Soul Reaper on the Gideon.
The trouble is, he might want the Epoch into some of the other characters. Chimera, Richter, Seraph. A lot of characters really want to get on him or pull him towards them, and an Epoch certainly would help.
I'm personally, I don't know if I'm in the minority here. I'm not a big Epoch into Richter kind of guy, because basically all he has to do is wait for you to come out of the pink state, and then he can either pull you, skewer you. There's a bunch you can do. Six looking to get another gank into this dual lane. Still no flash onto Azazel here. They just burnt it over in the off lane. The Cole is going to come down on top of the Silence Pit. Going to be enough with the burn and able to get him. And the fight is on 6 low now too. One member has fallen. Actually, 2 members. The dual lane for Predecessor have fallen at this point. They're going to trade back and get 6-2. Bear standing in front of that dual lane trying to fight them, but I don't think he's going to win that, even though he is glowing purple. Nitro, actually now as we move into the mid lane with a nice little dive onto Feppy, who comes around the back side of it. You know Feppy is spamming missing right lane right now.
You still don't think you should get an Epoch based on what you just saw?
No, I do not. I still do not think that Epoch was the right move, but time will tell whether or not Lance is wrong, and I've been wrong about a bunch of things when it comes to Predecessor.
The big thing that was really important with that gank on the left-hand side, the fight, they did lose both their duo lane on the side of PTAB, but because Bears was there and because Bears was able to clean up the kill onto 6, it didn't allow the Professors to take the Fangtooth. So the fight that they were looking to get and then get the objective was kind of washed because of Bear's rotation, which is really, really important. It's something you need to be paying attention to as a jungler.
You have to be on top of that. We do see the first neutral objective going the way of Press Tab right now, as they've found their way into this Fangtooth pit. The second one actually. Wait, no, it's the first one. Don't be surprised. Oh, I guess with the first mini prime. Yeah, I apologize. I forgot that the first mini prime was taken beforehand. That's something we're seeing a lot lately, where people are prioritizing that first mini prime over playing to that duo side lane of the map. So we have actually an advantage for Press Tab, as Bears was the first one to pick up that mini prime. They're going to get the first Fangtooth as well. Once again, I think they have a slight scaling advantage here too. And although they are down 1 kill and maybe a little CS early, Press Tab being a little bit more competitive in this early game than honestly I was expecting out of them, Tedium.
I think you took the words right out of my mouth. I'm really impressed with what Press Tab has been able to do in this early game. I love that lane swap.
Azazel's just toast here. No need to really go into the details about it. Crazy Fool sees you. Crazy Fool hooks you. Crazy Fool skewers you. Survivor's going to be able to pick it up. That's tournament day Survivor, baby.
Look, we were talking about how Azazel has that advantage. You know, he's got that small body. He's got that odd job advantage. But we're not playing slappers only. Crazy Fool has ranged engage, and he is going to kill you.
He is. The Behemoth does come out of Bears here, as the rock did land early in it. Crazy Fool now low in health, but 6 is here to be the hero. Now they just got to kite away, keep Crazy Fool alive and away from Bears. And once again, we are in one of these situations. Actually, Feppy shows up here to try to help as well, but they got down onto the ledge. 6 doing what he can now to chop at Bears, who needs to run away, but the ambush is going to be enough. 6 going to get pulled. Or not 6, I'm sorry, Feppy going to get pulled in by Crazy Fool as well. And unless Azazel can clean this up, it is a 3-for-1 in the side of Professors here. Only 6 falling in very late into the fight after the first person had died, respawned, and came back to the fight.
PTAB was just a little bit unlucky there. Professors, their duo lane, got out of the fight at like 1 HP each, and Richter gets his shield passive back up, and he says, you know what, I still have a hook, I'm going back into this fight. Gets the hook on to the howitzer, and it, you know, secures even more kills. Bears falls as well. it was just honestly a little bit of unlucky, damage coming out of PTAB because Professor's dual lane, as I said, got out at 1 HP and then was able to re-engage.
Able to re-engage, able to keep Crazy Fool alive during it as well. Six doing, what Chimeras do and what junglers do, taking fights to the very end, but really clean execution out of Professors there. Crazy Fool is going to miss the hook and then get hit with the stun from the Argus. Soul Reaper now over here as well. Big black hole underneath it, gonna force both flashes out of the duo lane. That's gonna have to be them retreating, but the rest of PTAB moving over here near the 3 camp to try to keep this tier 1 tower in the duo lane alive, it looks.
Soul Reaper is all over this map. I feel like I blinked and I missed his rotation all the way from the side of the off lane. Like, I think he was, last time I saw him, he was there, and he was getting, pressure onto this side, giving Nitro the ability to take a tower. Soul Reaper has been really, really impactful, despite not, getting a lot of kills yet. Burning 2 flashes there is really important, especially for this new mini prime that's going to fall to the side of the Professors, unless PTAB has anything to say about it.
Yeah, and it looks like they are moving around to try to have something to say about it. As you see Azazel, Rizbro, and Bad News Bears coming around. Looks like we're going to get a big team fight here. Going to have to use the crystal to get himself out. And Rizbro's just caught between all of those members on the retreat. But Survivor's going to take him down with the rad rounds. Now it's Azazel who is in the back. He's going to fall as well. Once again, 2 members of Press Tab down early in a fight and still have the secure on that mini prime, as now they've got their attention set to Bears. Hook is going to miss from Crazy Fool, so Bears should be able to just walk out. But once again, on the opposite side of the map, we've got Nitro split pushing and getting free solo XP.
It's not the split push that is impressing me. It's this tier 2 tower that's probably going to fall down. 6 has the mini prime buff, and Peppy is going to fall because the hook was perfect.
Man, 2 blinks come out from that engagement from the side of Press Tab. So that is at least 4 blinks that are down on that roster right now, as they had gotten the duo lane just a second ago. Rizbro going a little sicko mode here. Very, very back in this. Going to use the Coliseum, but that's just going to put it on to cooldown, as nobody from his team was there to help him with that.
I don't know how anyone from his team could have helped him with that. His duo lane, no one has Blink, and we just saw his mid lane and his jungler Blink as well. No one was in range to engage with Rizbro. I think that was some desperation coming out of the offlaner.
And the lead is starting to grow. We just took a look at the tab screen. Have close to a 100 CS advantage for them right now. Up quite a bit in kills, 3-10. Had a lot of CS as well. And oh, poor Epps just gets caught out. You find the Seraph. Seraph's so sticky, especially when you're in ADC. There's nowhere you can go. They will now not have their ADC for this Fangtooth fight, which means it should be free for the side of Professors, as they take a tier 1 tower as well over in here. Bears misses another rock, still has the Behemoth available, but isn't going to burn it for this. Going to have to back up actually now, as it looks like Soul Reaper is going to just turn around and chase him, provide a little bit of zoning. Bears didn't hit that the right direction. Gonna have to use the Behemoth to try to stay alive here, but Survivor's gonna take him down with the rad rounds. That is not a good series of events for it. Make It Rain does come up from over the top. The hook is gonna miss onto it, but they're gonna chase him into that blue side jungle as well, it looks, as Peppy turning around, trying to get out of there as Nitro is on him. Nitro's gonna pick him up, actually, and this entire side of the map, past the river, all of the way up to almost the inhibitors now, is controlled by Professor, who are going to easily pick up Azazel as well. Rizbro will be the next victim. Only Epps remains. 4 members down for Press Tab. We are only 17 minutes into this game, Tedium.
PTAB is out to lunch, but Professors are the ones that are eating. They have no more towers except for the one in the off lane. PTAB's in a dangerous position here. They were looking so good at the beginning, but all of a sudden, Professors do their patented, we're just gonna start playing now, and win every single engagement since then.
Whew. Take a look at Survivor's kill score right now. 8-0-3, 131 CS, has more kills than PTAB has kills and assists combined right now. Survivor is absolutely cooking.
I think that's just, coming down to the fact that he and Crazy Fool have been laning together for just so long. They know how to lane together. He can take all these micro advantages. They're just so comfortable with each other. And Feppy looking a little bit uncomfortable because everyone is in the area. And remember, he doesn't have that epoch.
Doesn't have that epoch, but is starting to get a lot of AP with those obelisk stacks coming up, as he is still able to farm a decent amount at 122. I mean, I guess that's not like fantastic, but considering the disadvantage his team is at, he's still keeping up as well as he can in CS. I just gotta say, it doesn't feel like there is room for Press Tab to breathe. Professors is putting on a real clinic in this game, and I think the right play at this point is for Press Tab to try to stall out as much as they can, get some of that scaling that we talked about, get Rampage to the spot that he's going to be super hard to kill, that Feppy can one-shot Survivor or can one-shot one of the other squishier members. Bears needs to start landing these rocks as well. That will help a lot to get some of those longer range engages on. Ooh, picking 6 here in the jungle could be okay as well, but just like that, the rotation comes out of Professors. Nitro jumps back into the off lane, but Epps is actually going to be able to pick it up. So now they've got a little bit of an advantage. Actually, it looks like Bears is going to fall, so we are back to even strengths here. But the health bars on PTAB very low on some of the important members like Rizbro here really don't have a front line with him at that percentage of HP. So they're going to have to get a reset, probably give up this off lane tier 2 tower in the meantime.
The big problem for PTAB that they're facing right now is much like Professor's team comp. I think both these teams really want to be the ones engaging, picking fights, and starting fights on their own terms. Rock into, you know, an Argus stun, into a Howie boop towards you, into a Zarus cage. Like they want to be fighting when they want to. But they don't have a lot of counter engage. They don't have a lot of peel. They don't have a lot of things to get the Seraph, to get the Kai, to get the Richter off of anyone. So they're kind of just in a position where Professors are playing the way they want to be playing, but PTAB doesn't get that opportunity.
They don't, and oh, Bears, I'm not sure about that. He takes the blast cone. They'll still have the pounce to be able to jump himself away, so not terribly unsafe, but that could have gone disastrous if the right member was waiting for them there. And they are aware of the fact that Professors is going to try to start this Orb Prime, the 20-minute Orb Prime, and that's because PTAB's got no way of getting into it. What are they going to do? How are they going to walk into this? They are losing every single fight they go into. Professors has 4 times the kills that they do, a 100+ CS advantage, and they don't even have to commit all of the members, as Crazy Fool and Soul Reaper can just zone right here. Bears is going to get back into this. Is he going to be able to play Hero Ball? No, he's on top of the Silence Field, so he is going to get taken out. Epps is going to have to flash up over the ledge, but Nitro's still pursuing. The Ventilator's going to come out, but doing a good job of dodging. Rizbro going to put him into the cage, but Survivor's going to pick up Feppy in the backline as well. While we are not looking, Nitro does look like he might fall here. Six doing a good job of trying to get in between, but they are just going to trade themselves back. Black Hole's going to flash, or cause the flash to come out of Azazel, but Survivor is behind you, and Epps is the only Survivor for Press Tab in this, and once again, 4 members dead on the side of PTAB.
4 heroes dead and soon to be 2 inhibitors dead. They also have minions in the perfect position to be able to take both of these inhibitors.
And they got the Orb Prime during this, which means they have that extra pushing power. Bears is up now because he did die very, very early in that interaction, but it will not be in time to save either of these inhibitors like you mentioned, Steve. Oh, and he's going to get hooked! And he's going to get put back into spectator mode. He's going to take another 45 seconds to watch his team try to claw him back into this game, but it's starting to feel inevitable. Another hook!
My
that
God.
hitbox is just so big on Howitzer. Crazy Fool's not going to miss stuff like that, but Feppy isn't able to get back into his fountain there. Rizbro is going to have to flash to get back into it. Health bars are starting to get a little bit of low. Crazy Fool does not miss into the black hole. Rizbro the only person up right now. Rizbro not the only person up. That's the full RGS ace. That's the full game 1. If Press Tab wants to survive, they are going to have to win both games 2 and game 3 of these quarterfinals, as game 1 goes to Professors in clear fashion.
Look, I'm sorry, PTAB. You are crazy. You are fools for not banning this Richter. 0-0-16, the perfect support game coming out of Crazy Fool. Unstoppable. Like, that was like 4 hooks in a row right there at the end. Love
It
the
was
shirt.
like 4 hooks in a row, and I gotta bring it out. I was gonna wait until a later point in this tournament to show it off, but Crazy Fool was just standing on his damn head. Crazy Fool, my MVP of that game, very, very clearly. Tell me what else you saw, Tedium.
I don't really think I can think of anything right now, because all I can think is Crazy Fool hit 4 hooks right there at the end. I mean, they were probably going to win the game anyway, but it was just like, an extra little bit of rubbing salt in the wounds. Like, look, this is why you ban this character. Crazy Fool is so insane on this pick. And I know you want to ban out the Kalari. I know you think 6 is scary on Kalari. And look, I've never played against 6's Kalari, so I don't know. But I have played against Crazy Fool's Richter. And I fear that far more than I imagine I'd fear the Kalari. Kalari's scary, but this Crazy Fool Richter can win games single-handedly.
It can, but I'm really excited to hear what our desk has to say about this. So I'm going to throw it back to Grady, Wangle, and Ardog. Take it away.
Thanks, Lance and Tedium. I think Lance is a fan of Crazy Fool. What a game between the Professors and Press Tab. Game number 1 going towards the Professors, leading to their victory. They just played with so much comfort. They played together as a unit, and we saw how good each member of the Professors just worked alongside each other. All of a sudden, Press Tab was just facing this scary team in their middle inhibitor at 15 minutes. And they had first blood on 6 and started off strong. But Wangle, what went wrong there for Press Tab?
Press Tab started off the game in front. They pulled off a lane swap where they put the duo lane and off lane. Might have been inspired, to those of you that watch professional League of Legends, there was a team in the Korean finals recently that pulled off a lane swap and won the series. So it might have been inspired there. Got the first blood onto 6, but a lot of the team fights or the objective contention just seemed very split, very disconnected. Some people are looking to go in, others are saying, we give it, we're going to back off, we're not going to fight. Seemed to not be a level of cohesion there that would be good enough to compete with the Professors in that game.
They definitely hesitated, and it was apparent through the screen. But on the other hand, Grady, though, what went well for the Professors in game number 1?
The Professors got to do a little bit of schooling in that game. They did what they do best. They group up, they fight you, and they're very good at that, right? PTAB just trying to fight into that, and sometimes it's just a hopeless battle, right? A little bit of over rotations coming outside or from the side of PTAB, and Professor's just capitalizing on it, right? That rotation early on for the 4-for-1 in the duo lane, Soul Reaper didn't even have to rotate. His team still won the fight, and he picked up a tier 1, right? So that's early gold in his pocket, and Professor's just overall played the map absolutely stellar.
Yep. And we'll just have to see how game number 2 will go. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We are going for a break.